Yeah, yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Unpopular Honesty. And before I even get started, I like to say that this is a milestone you are witnessing. When I started this podcast, I didn't see that it would last for as long as it has. Today, this is the 100th episode. With that in mind, I'm going to continue to push forward. I'm going to continue to bring that unpopular honesty that is appreciated and well respected by all those who watch. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody who has ever watched, liked, comment, and subscribed to the channel. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to continue, man. You know what I'm saying? So, without any further ado, like we always do about this time, a documentary based on the life and career of the legendary DOC will be hitting theaters in the spring of 2023. I'm very proud of this. I know if my brother was here right now, he would be proud of this moment because he was a doc advocate. He told me that no one can do it better. It's Dr. Dre's best work in terms of production. It's an album that I also own, and so it made me go back and listen to it. I agree, but I don't, because I believe Dr. Dre hit his production peak at Niggas for Life, which ironically is another album that Doc had a hand in writing. You know what I'm saying? So, but Dr. Dre's production at the point of Niggas for Life was, you seen, okay, production wise, he's going to another level. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that the DOC's album wasn't good, because it is a classic album still to this day. I can't wait to see that story, man. I think that's going to be very, very, very telling. It already has a lot of, insight from those who was around, be it Snoop, Dre, Daz, Corrupt, Erykah Badu, and a host of others. I can't wait to see that. Can't wait to check that out, man. Another one that's going to be coming in the spring is the Tupac and Afeni Shakur Dear Mama 5-part docuseries. That'll be on FX and Hulu. The strangest part about that is that they got the estate of Tupac Shakur hired the Hughes brothers to do it. Now, for anybody who's a Pac fan like I am, knows that Tupac did not like the Hughes brothers, stemming from Menace to Society. I just think that that's funny that, they would hire them to do that, but all in all, I'm still going to watch it because they have promised that there will be content never before seen of Tupac and his mother. So I can't wait to check that out, man. You know what I'm saying? And see what they did with that. Dr. Dre is making a deal to sell his music catalog for $200 million. Now, we've heard over the years a bunch of artists, selling their catalogs, whether it's rock and roll artists, country artists, pop artists, and now rap artists. A lot of people automatically would assume that the Dr. Dre music catalog is worth more than $200 million. But in any event, he is about to run it up one more again for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Gilly the Kid says older men dressing young is whack. When I saw this and I heard his statement, I could only, I agree. I said the same thing. There should be no such thing as, someone above the age of 35 dressing like a teenager. It just doesn't look right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot in the streets that you can see today that doesn't look right. But that's what I'll be wondering. I'll be wondering, are y'all doing this because this is in you to do? Or are you doing this to keep up with your kids? And I say the same thing, but Gilly the Kid also co-signs a lot of bullshit too. And I just have to be transparent about the situation. If you're going to call older people who dress young out, then you need to address some of the trash that you co-sign and endorse on your podcast and on your platform. Because you co-sign some fuck shit. You co-sign some whack shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, the dress code is just an extension of it. You know what I mean? Because it's nothing worse than seeing a 40-year-old dressed like a 20-year-old in 2023. But it's happening. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's be real about it. If we're going to attack the dress code, we need to attack the fuck shit too. You need to start co-signing this whack shit. Co-signing this whack music. You know what I'm saying? That's promoting bullshit. That's promoting nothing. Let's just be honest about that. You know what I'm saying? Actor Mac Wiles admits that he would like to play LL Cool J in a biopic about his life. I welcome a film about the life and career of LL Cool J. I think it would be interesting. If he gets the role, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. Know what I mean? Big Daddy Kane calls J. Cole his hero. Let me say this. Big Daddy Kane being from my era, the realest era in hip-hop music. It's only going to be people from that real era who make moves, do things, and show people what this culture is all about. I don't know where this statement came from. You know what I mean? But it's cool to hear someone from the golden era of hip hop give respect to one of this generation's saving grace. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane. Shout out to J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say. Man, I hate to announce these two because, for the past couple of years, these have been my favorite shows that have been on television, and both of them are starting their final seasons in February. You know what I'm saying? And I really hope that somebody watching can pick up Wu-Tang and American Saga and continue doing it, man, because 3 seasons is not enough. But in any event, the final season of Wu-Tang and American Saga starts in February. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite television shows. You know what I'm saying? We already know I fucks with the Wu. My top 5 best hip hop groups of all time. You know what I'm saying? Very innovative. Love the show. And the final season of Snowfall also starts in February. Rest in peace, John Singleton. You know what I mean? Jermaine Dupri says hip hop is hurting and needs reviving. Now, whenever JD speaks about music, you know what I'm saying, I pay attention and I peep and I learn, because JD has been doing this for a very long time. What he's saying is absolutely correct. Rap has really, in a lot of ways, lost its identity. And when I say that, it doesn't sound like rap anymore. When you start using melody and your voice and everybody in rap has a light voice. There's no heavy voices in rap no more. You took away all the skill. You took away all the lyricism. You took away everything that would intrigue you about listening to a rapper or a rap album. And now all you have is these light voices projecting melody, talking about a bunch of nothing. And that's how rap lost its identity. And the rappers we should be paying attention to is the ones that nobody talks about, only a few listen to, the few that know what real music is. And that's just how the game is being ran. But yeah, it does need reviving, and hopefully, JD can get behind some real hip hop talent as far as production wise, and hopefully bring that to a reality, man. Because, I can't be the only one trying to push for, real hip hop to come back. It has to be a group of us to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, rest in peace, West Coast legendary producer, Laylaw. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Laylaw got his start off rapping. His first single was actually produced by Dr. Dre. But then he got into production, and he was producing for Above the Law, NWA, E40, MC8, and he also did I Wonder If Heaven Got a Ghetto for Tupac. So I would like to say rest in peace, Laylaw. You know what I'm saying? The return of 50 Cent. Well, he's been making his rounds ever since, his television show, you know what I'm saying, doing interviews or whatever. 50 Cent, man, is, according to, his interview that he did in Los Angeles, he's coming back to rap, you know what I'm saying, with the help of Eminem and Dr. Dre. And, I guess the question is, does the public want to hear a new 50 Cent album? Will it be a return to the 50 Cent of the early 2000s, where he was, talking about people and, used the beef as a gimmick and as a, ploy to sell records? Or will it be a new formula? You know what I'm saying? Or what will come of this? And what will the public think about it? You know what I mean? Because, he's done what he's done. And can't nobody take away from what he's done. But the question is, musically in 2023, with the landscape being what it is, will the public listen? Will the public even care? I guess it'll be something that we'll just answer in time. You cannot recreate classics. Let me say something, man. Movies are remade all the time. Every 30 to 40 years, they always remake Halloween, Friday the 13th. You know, they always remake movies. They always do. The art of a remade movie is not a new concept by any stretch of the imagination. When I say you cannot recreate classics, I mean the Hudlin brothers created a classic movie in 1990 called House Party. And I'm going to just name classic movies from the 90s era. New Jack City. Boys in the Hood. Juice. Menace to Society. Above the Rim. New Jersey Drive. Set It Off. Belly. It's gonna be hard to recreate movies like that, man. That was like, you can't do it. It can't be done. It cannot be done, man. You know what I mean? Like, yo, man, y'all gotta be creative enough to think of something on your own instead of recreating or trying to redo what was done back in the 80s and 90s as far as films are concerned. You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen a lot of 80s and 90s remakes that are being remade in this modern day era, and a lot of them don't measure up. Coming to America 2 did not measure up to the genius that was Coming to America. You know, it's been a few other sequels that have came out or remakes that have came out from old movies that just didn't measure up. Stop it. Be creative enough to do something original. And stop watering down classics trying to rewrite history. That shit is whack. Yeah. And for this segment, I call Make It Make Sense. Why do people pay more attention to failure than success? It's just something that I paid attention to just paying attention to social media. Someone can get on social media and speak disrespectfully about someone, and that post will generate thousands of likes, comments, and even some shares. And then you have successful things that people should be proud of, people should be prideful of, moments of the good, moments of success. Those are the things that people bypass, pay no attention to, act like they don't see it. Or maybe they just subconsciously turned off to the fact of success. Not really sure, man. But I know it's something that I see all the time. People love negativity. Boy, they eat that for breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, midnight snack, 4 in the morning, all that. You know what I'm saying? But that positive stuff, the real successes in life, mostly go ignored. And that's the truth, man. You know? What can a young boy teach a grown man? Now, this is something that I'm sure some people have heard before. And this question came about is because there are a few people who are above the age of 35 who, I guess, in their words or their estimation, they have kept up with the culture as far as the current sound of today and who the movers and shakers are in this generation of hip hop. And a lot of them are fans of Youngboy. So I ask, because his music is not made for, the older demographic of, hip hop fans. His music is intended for younger audiences. Hence why his age demographic is what it is. He is young. He's speaking about things that are relatable to the young generation. My question is, what can a young boy teach a grown man? You're already above the age of 35. Some are even above the age of 40. What can you learn from a young boy if you are a grown man? It kind of cuts deeper than the music. If you can build an understanding for his music, then I'm asking you, what do you get out of it? What do you learn from it? Is it teaching you how to be smart? Is it teaching you something that you didn't learn when you were younger? Or is it something you're just going along with so you can be considered cool and not looked at as old? People don't like it when I pose those questions, but it's a real thing. Just ask yourself, and I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, because at the end of the day, you have your own freedom of choice who to listen to. I'm just asking the questions, If you don't know real hip hop, don't talk about it. The reason why this is a point of contention is because you can get on social media. Hell, you might even encounter this conversation somewhere in the general public. But you have people who only know about hip hop of today. They can't tell you about the generation before. They can't tell you about the beginning of hip hop. They can't tell you about why the culture was started. They can't tell you where the culture started. They don't know nothing about the foundation of this culture. They don't know nothing about the groundwork of this culture. They don't know nothing about the people who had to crawl in order for them to be able to walk. All I'm saying is, know not your history, and you will not know where you are going. If you call yourself a rap fan, a hip hop fan, I suggest you go do some research. I suggest you read. I suggest you watch documentaries about this culture so that you know what you're talking about when you start talking about hip hop. See, the problem is you got all these, current generation hip hop fans, and all they can tell you about is numbers, streams, the metrics that I guess people use to gauge success or to say this one and that one is the best or whatever you may have you. But at the end of the day, like I said, if you don't know about the culture in its entirety, you shouldn't be talking about it. If all you know about rap is what's going on today, you need to go back and do some research. Learn about the culture before you speak on it. Where does hip hop grow from here? This is something that it's been a conversation for quite some time. Me being a hip hop artist myself, I don't really get posed with the question because I don't have to deal with a lot of the stigmas that are going along with hip hop these days. I feel like the sound that I have not been appreciating in hip hop is finally starting to grow old to even the people that might have liked it a year or two before. It's playing out. People are starting to look the other way. You can see if you watch different artists in their releases, in their position in the charts, their metrics, so on and so forth. You could tell that it's a shift. And, you know, rap music changes every 1.5, 2 years if you pay attention to the culture. And a lot of people say, you know, when I say, you know, that shit is playing out, the things that people been jamming to, been riding to for years, it's starting to play out. People don't want to hear that no more. And the question becomes, well, what is it going to go to next? The makeup of the MC that would be defined as the next, or what you would call the next thing, is going to be lyrical content like it was in the 90s, just set to modern production. Even me being a hip hop artist, I can tell you that I really don't care for modern production because it all sounds the same. The same type of beats, people use the same type of flows, and in the end you got the same type of song. But I do understand the purpose that it serves when I make those type of records. You know what I mean? And lastly, man, I tapped on it a little bit earlier. We're going to touch on it one more time. You know, because you have these, you know, some people debate about rappers and who's the best and who's not, things of that nature. But a lot of people today, when they're, you know, when they're talking about rappers and who's the best, they love to use numbers. They love to use fame. They love to use everything except for talent. And I'm just here to tell you, man, if you're in an argument with somebody and they say, well, numbers don't lie, he sold such and such and such and such, that has no bearing on musical talent and skill whatsoever. So yeah, you can break all the records you want. You can sell all the records you want. You can be on Billboard's top 200 for 10 years. It doesn't mean that you're good. It just means that you sold enough to be on the charts. Let's be honest here. A lot of this stuff that I be seeing on the internet about people and their numbers, it looks good on paper. It sounds good when it coming out of someone's mouth who's a fan of this person. But let's be honest. Does your favorite rapper have a classic song? Does your favorite rapper have a classic mixtape? Does your rapper have a classic album? Does your favorite rapper have a classic album? The answer to all those questions is hell no. So then my next question would be, what the fuck are we talking about? See, people love to dick ride. Dick riding is not a means of transportation, especially for a man. We don't condone that over here. So we're not going to indulge. What I will say is, let's call a spade a spade. If it looked like a duck and walks like a duck, I can't call it a motherfucking chicken. I use that analogy to say, a lot of people love to give people musical credit for things that are not musical. Fame and popularity have no bearing on musical talent. Numbers, sales, streams, views, any other metric that can be played with and manipulated have no bearing on musical talent. A lot of people you see on the charts today don't have a classic nothing in their catalog. Let's be honest. A classic nothing. Song, album, mixtape, feature, nothing. I feel like it's a lot of robots. It's a lot of yes men. It's a lot of go along, get along. It's a whole bunch of people that just be talking just to hear themselves talk. Fuck if it makes sense or not. They just love to hear themselves talk. And that has trickled down to rap music. This is why Jermaine Dupri says rap music is hurting and needs reviving for this type of shit here. And as always, people, I would like to thank you for watching episode 100 of Unpopular Honesty. We will be back with more episodes, different locations, different things going on, man. You know what I'm saying? You're about to see the rise of this podcast. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. You know what I'm saying? On behalf of myself, good people at One Man Records. As always, peace and love. Because that's what the world needs, man. Peace.